Hello, everyone. All right. Now, give me a volume test. Tell me if the volume's fine. Yeah, that was like that yesterday. How's that? I just love that the BlueStacks is running at 30 frames per second and the stream is running at 60. Alright. Alright. These rubber feet on the bottom of this tablet is just all over the place. Alright. BotRex is not on YouTube anymore, which is a good thing. So we're going to ham and cheese, Diane Makepeace. And then she just ran off, you see? In other words, you two let Makepeace's daughter get away. Aye, but who would have thought there'd be an old underground railway system there, eh? Never mind. I can't believe how she's grown up. Makepeace's daughter. Of course, you know all about him. Jigsaw puzzle killings from 4 years ago, don't you, Justin? I was on the team investigating them, yes. Then, for goodness sake, tell me what happened at Forebodium Castle. It's best that you stay out of all of that, Lucy. Hey, Bunny. But something happened back then between the Prof and Diane's father, didn't it? I see. You already know, do you? Not enough, no. Come on, spill the beans. Very well. But I'm only going to say this once, so pay attention. Oh, I will, don't you worry. So, as you know, 4 years ago, we were trying to get to the bottom of the Jigsaw puzzle killings. I won't bore you with the details, but in the end, Al finally managed to pinpoint the culprit. His name was Keelan Makepeace. Aye, Diane's dad. Yes. Anyway, Makepeace was hiding out in an old ruin, Forebodium Castle. So that's how the castle comes into it all. Al and myself, Hilda, and the commissioner set off to apprehend him. The commissioner? Out in the field. It was a special case. The commissioner wanted to be right there to call the shots. Oh, I see. We were all supposed to go in together, but Al tried to be a hero and went on ahead of the rest of us. Give over, not the Prof. The rain was hammering down. It was dark inside, and confusing with all the rooms and passageways. We were desperately trying to find Al, but before we did, we heard a shot ring out in the darkness. Yikes! It came from above us, on the castle roof, but the door leading up there was barred shut. The commissioner started going at it with an axe, when there were 2 more shots. No! Yes, the commissioner finally managed to break the door down and gain access to the roof, but, well, it was a bloodbath up there. Al and Makepeace were both down. But the prof were alright, of course. Yes, Makepeace was dead. But, by some miracle, Al managed to escape with his life. But, well, he wasn't the same. How do you mean? I think you know, Lucy. Ever since that incident, Al suffered some sort of split personality disorder. So that's when Potty Prof were born, eh? At Forebodium Castle that day. You know Al. He couldn't have shot the man. No, something changed inside him that day. Something snapped in his mind. Poor Prof. Anyway, that's really all I can tell you about Forebodium Castle. Does it answer your questions? Oh, aye. So very much. Now, where the devil is Al? He really should be here by now. Fendi! Oh, hello, Hilda. If you're looking for Al, I'm afraid he's not here yet. Crikey. What's the matter with you? You're as white as a sheet. I received an invitation from Diane Makepeace. Eh? So, where's the party? Forebodium Castle. I bet that's where the prof is. He's going it alone again. I'll double check to make sure he isn't here in the station anywhere. You two get to come to the castle. Alright. Right you are. No heroics, okay? I'll get some backup together and be with you shortly. I honestly can't remember the journey with Hilda in Forebodium Castle now. The only vague memories I have, and the constant din of the driving rain out windows, the sweet smell of Hilda's perfume. I looked up into the sky and it were black, like someone had chucked a bottle of ink up there. We're here. So this is it, eh? Forebodium Castle? That's strange. What's strange? There should be agents here. It must be Diane. Come on, Hilda. There's no time to lose. Wait. What's wrong? We don't know what's waiting for us inside. It could be a trap. Aye, it could. We must stick together. Do not leave my side under any circumstances. Is that clear? Aye, as crystal. Now come on, we've got to find the prof. There she goes. The girl has no idea. Aye? It's pitch black in here. It's just as it was 4 years ago. It was pouring with rain then too. And so dark and... Hilda, look! There's a light on in there. You can see it round the door frame. Ah, yes. Lucy, help. That were the prof. Quick, he's in trouble. No, Lucy, wait. Prof! Yep, there's no one in here. Ah! That's a body, I think! What's the pig mask for, though? Miss Baker, like a moth to the flame, straight into my trap. Is that you, Diane? Why are you talking to me through a speaker? Correct, Miss Baker. Yes, it's me. You know, you really ought to listen to what people tell you. Sorry? What was it Hilda said to you now? Don't leave my side until under any circumstances, was it? Oh, where is she? I can't open the door. You've locked me in here, haven't you? Correct again. Leaving Hilda all on her own. So much easier to kill her that way. You wouldn't! Oh dear. Do you want to leave? What do you think? Then let me give you a fighting chance. What do you mean? In this very room, I have reconstructed an old case. A particularly nasty case of murder. All you have to do is solve it. Who killed Pig? Find the correct answer to my little puzzle, and I'll let you out. You want me to work out the culprit of some random crime that happened goodness knows when? In a word, yes. Hang on! This isn't one of them, is it? You know, when Miss Marple announces it were all of them? This isn't crime fiction. This is real. Rest assured, there's only one culprit in this case. The case files are right there on the table. Best of luck to you. Do hurry, or unfortunate things may happen to your friends. Hey, what do you mean, unfortunate things? Oh well, there's not for it then. I'll have to figure out who killed this pig. Hilda be fuming. Best get out of here and apologize for running off before she bursts a blood vessel. Okay. So, where are these files then? Here we are. Now let's see. What the? They're all wearing masks. All of the suspects are dressed up as animals as well. Okay, so Pig here is the victim. A wealthy chap by the looks. And who have we got for suspects? Cat, the dead pig's wife. Hen, the housekeeper. Dog, a trader who had business meeting lined up with Pig on its day in question. And Donkey, some kind of jeweler, who also had a meeting scheduled with the victim on that day. Well, they've all got motive enough, that's for sure. What else have we got here? What are all these photos? They all look alike. Here we go. There's a note with them. I see. This pig were a worry fellow. He'd set up a load of hidden cameras around the place. These photos show the comings and goings from this room on a day of the murder. And the only two people that knew about the camera were Pig himself and his Mrs. Cat. Interesting. Seems like you should be able to figure out roughly what happened just by looking at these then. So which one's first? 12:02, Cat arrives on its scene and goes into the room. 12:11, Cat comes out of the room again. Oh dear, with Pig yelling down the corridor after her. Looks like they had a fight then. 12:16, that dog, the traitor, turns up and goes inside. According to the paperwork, Pig were expecting him to turn up for a meeting that day. 12:28, dog leaves the room. 12:32, now donkey turns up and goes inside. 12:36, and yep, dog's back again. Now we haven't had a picture yet showing donkey leaving. So the two of them must be in there together. 12:42, hi. There you go, dog and donkey both coming out of the room, look. Oh, but hang on. 12:43, dog goes back in. He must have forgotten something. 12:44, dog comes back out and leaves with donkey, who were waiting for him in the corridor. 12:49, a new face. Hen. The housekeeper goes into the room. 13:06, she comes out again. And then it's just 13:11, Cat goes into the room and discovers the body. By heck, that's a lot of photos. And a lot of comings and goings. I think my head's about to explode. Only there'd be a camera to show us what happened inside the room as well. Too easy, I suppose. Could really do with some statements from everyone involved as well. Now, I suppose I'll have to try and figure out the cause of death and what were used to kill the victim. That's elementary stuff, that is. I can hear the prof in my head telling me that. Well, at least I've got an idea where to start, I suppose. Keep your chin up, prof. You and you, Hilda. I'll solve this case, no trouble. Okay. The snaps from the hidden camera tell us who came and went that day, but still, what we crucially don't know is what went on inside the room. I could really do with a statement or two from all the suspects to get more of a handle on the situation. Scones, tea. I'm really milking this one because it's just this case and another case. Wallet. Vase. Rubbish bin. Drawer. That one's open, it says. Ah, statements. At last, statements! What a funny place to put them. So, first we've got the victim's wife, Cat. I see. She were bringing her husband some tea and scones. But then she said she was whining, that he was whining at her. What a pig. Or maybe she were being catty. Then there's a statement from the housekeeper hen. It weren't all peachy in the barn, eh? A lover's tiff, or were there more to it, I wonder? Yep, she says she never went in the room. Now then, let's see what Dog's got to say for himself. Some violent tendencies showing themselves there. Yep, forgot something, he says. That's a bit sus, that is. Mind you, he were only back in his room for a very short time. Maybe there's not more to it than what he says. Next up, that jeweler, the donkey. Bit funny having a donkey who's into gems. A magpie or something would be better for that. What were Diane thinking? Now, once Dog came along, there's no time when Donkey were in his room alone with Pig, which would make it pretty tricky to get up to any monkey business. And that's the lot of them. Well, there's one thing I can deduce from that straight away. Based on the facts I've ascertained so far, one of these statements is a lie. Let me just pick it out. Alright. Is it, my husband was in perfect health when I took him his tea and scones. In fact, he was so full of beans he wouldn't stop whining at me. I switched off. I'm the one who found the body, yes, but I certainly didn't kill him. After all, if I'd done that, I wouldn't get a settlement from the insurers, would I? The master and his wife are always arguing. I bet she wanted something, that's why. I thought it was a wee bit odd she was taking him tea and scones. I never went into the master's room that day, not once. I might have passed by the door once or twice, but never went inside. So I think that's the one that's the lie, because we have pictures proving it. This statement made by the housekeeper hen. She says she never went in the room where Pig were killed. But the hidden camera says otherwise. And I don't think I've ever seen a more guilty looking chicken in all my life. She were up to something in there and no mistake. I don't much like this working on your Todd lark. There's no one to say if you're on the right track or not. But that's not going to stop me, no chance. Alright, so we did that. Now we gotta say who's the culprit. Now here's a puzzle. Even if I figured out who did it, how do I let Diane know? I've completed my bush tucker trial, but I'm still in a jungle. That's hardly fair. No, surely there's some way I can get her attention. I need to have a look around and find some way to get a hold of Diane, so I can tell her I solved it. Okay. Well, we haven't collected all the evidence yet, so I'm about ready to start doing that. Scones. We got the tea. We got the wallet. The vase. Rubbish bin. And then the drawer. We got, well, and then the statements. We'll just close the drawer. let's keep going. Aha! There's a blood stain here. Yup, a little blood stain, look! What's that doing here when the victim's body's over on a sofa? Well, that's enough to make a nosebleed. That's all. That's bookcase. Standard lamp. Okay, look at this table. Whiskey. Cigarette butt. Believed to be of donkeys. Take a look at the plant. Hat stand. House plant. Window. Locked, eh? Still, if you broke the glass, you could get outside that. What are you dreaming about, Miss Baker? Diane! Stop concocting ridiculous schemes in your head and investigate properly. Otherwise, I may be forced to pump gas into the room. You never would! Good luck now. Oh, she's playing with me, I'm sure, isn't she? Windowsill note. Okay, I'm gonna do that. Fishy button. What's this button here for, eh? Yep. So you know who killed Piggy already? Well, no, not exactly. I mean, I just pressed the button, that's all. Boring. You're supposed to press this button when you know who did it. But if you just want to mess around instead, I can always just kill you first. She wouldn't really kill me, surely. I don't want to think about it, actually. Come on, lass, back to the investigation. So this button is to call Diane when I've worked out who the culprit is, right then? Alright. So, that doesn't have a check mark. That's because the buzzard. Sofa. Hey, Brianna. Well, I'm playing it on BlueStacks, and I had to pay for case files to get the whole game in. I really think Level 5 needs to redo this game and release it on proper consoles. Because I think this would take away the shade from Catriel. Too close. That's kind of sad to hear that the Layton fandom don't know this game. Because I think this is, yes, it's different from the Professor Layton titles, but I would have to say this is actually a more well thought out game compared to Catriel. I'm supposed to press this button to call Diane once I figured out who committed the crime. I don't think I'm quite there yet. I'm not sure or not. The music just fits. It's kind of perfect. Alright, let's go to the other one. Let's see if we can find a murder weapon. If I want to figure out what the murder weapon was, I'll have to ascertain how Pig died first. I'll try to find some evidence that shows what the cause of death were then. No point overcomplicating things, I suppose. I might as well start by examining the body. I can't believe the first corpse I'm ever going to examine on my own belongs to a tubby hog. Okay, there's definitely no pulse. He's a goner, alright. But how's a lay person like me supposed to pinpoint the actual mode of death, eh? Well, if you read the description, the dead body of the head of which has been covered with a pig head mask. There's no signs of external injuries, but the victim is most certainly dead. Which leads me to believe that he was poisoned. Now what's this? He's wearing a uniform under his long coat. Yup, it's a copper's clobber. I bet it were one of them agents Hilda said should have been outside. Diane must have. Killing an innocent officer. She'll pay for that. I'll see to it that she does. Given the way she set this up, there must be somewhere around here that shows how he died. Gotta find some evidence that shows what the cause of death were. So, I'm gonna say it's this. No, that doesn't help. That tells me how not about the pig died. But there must be somewhere around here that does. Some evidence that gives away the cause of death. Are you talking about that? Are you serious? But there must be some... Okay. Oh yeah, if you go into is SSM beaten yet? It says yes. Somebody finally beat Trim and the Herb. Killed in a single blow from behind with a heavy blunt object. The victim injured his nose in the ensuing fall, resulting in minor bleeding from the head and nose. So he didn't die here. This is a crime scene investigation report from the original case. Well, I'm sorted now then. This tells me exactly how Pig died. Someone reveals he had just eaten a skull, and the ingredients precisely match those of the other scones at the crime scene. Now I just need to hunt about for the murder weapon. No, this isn't it. Must be somewhere around here that could be used to put the pig out of his misery. Well, we had a Sims anime live action show. Was it done with the lamp? No, he didn't die from the lamp. Was it the lead pipe? Man, if I find an actual lead pipe in here, I'm gonna throw hands. And that's heavy. You wouldn't need much muscle to do some hefty damage it could have caused in a lass. Okay. So we got the picture of Hen looking dead guilty coming out of the room. The fact that she lied in her statement and a murder weapon that could easily have been wielded by a woman, I think it's fair to say I've cracked it. Pig's killer was Hen. So come on, Diane. A deal's a deal. Let us out now. Oh, looks like I'm just shouting it. Shouting it. Out's not going to do the trick. I'll have to get Diane's attention first. I'm supposed to press that button on the table to call Diane once I've told it, aren't I? But are we really sure that it's Hen, though? We're gonna press the button. So you know who did it? I pressed the button, didn't I? Okay, then who? Who killed Pig? Obviously, the killer is Hen, the housekeeper. Oh, really? Don't get too excited, will you? I know. I'll be Hen for a while, and you can try to get the truth out of me. You'll be Hen? Cluck, cluck! Can I have killed the master? Can what? Now I've seen everything. I never went into the master's room that day. So how is it I'm supposed to have killed him, eh? Tell me that. Aye, but that's a lie, isn't it? And I can prove it because... You were caught on film on your way in and out of the room. Aye, there's a hidden camera, Chuck. A hidden camera? That's right. Everyone's coming and going through that doorway's been snapped. I heard of that before, lassie. Nor would you have. Pig and Cat were the only two who knew anything about it. The evidence is undeniable, admit it. You killed Pig. Poppycock. I didn't lay a feather on him. How would I have any reason to murder the master? If it's a motive you're after, I'll give you one. Okay. Your fingerprints have been found all over your employer's wallet. You were after money, and you killed Pig for it. Cluck! Aye, Cluck. Ouch! You got me! Hey, I did stick my beak into the master's wallet, and I shouldn't have. But I didn't murder him. I can't believe I had the pluck to take the money, to be honest. You're not still going to deny it, surely? I'm far too chicken to do something so horrible. I went in to clear away the tea, and that's the truth. You've got to believe me, lassie. Now be fair, Diane. I've done what you asked, and I figured out who did it. I am being fair. Penny's telling the truth. Give over. You're saying she's not the culprit, really? I didn't really think she was either. Haha, I wonder. Perhaps you'd better investigate it a bit more thoroughly and see if it's not even possible that Hen did it, no? Hey, wait a minute! Sounds like she's saying Hen couldn't have done it. Have I missed something somewhere? Okay. From what Diane said, when I presented my case, seems like I might not be on the right track. Perhaps Hen isn't the culprit after all. She even implied that somewhere here, there's actual evidence that proves Hen can't be the killer. I think I'd better investigate a bit more. Okay. So we found these already. Pigs and hens' fingerprints are on the vase, but no traces of blood have been noticed. And then there's the rubbish bin. It's full of scraps of paper. There doesn't appear to be anything in here that could be relevant to the case. And then there's the drawer. And then there's this blood stain. And then there's the bookcase. And then there's the lamp. The whiskey. Ashtray. Some considerable weight. There are no traces of blood on it. Someone has evidently tried to wipe off. This is the only butt, and is believed to have been smoked by Donkey on the day in question. Yep, the killer used the ashtray to do pig in. But there's a cigarette butt still in it. Surely that pins down the timing of when pig were killed, doesn't it? Aye, that means pig were done in. Actually, no, maybe not. Let me just think that through again. Okay. So it's got to be before Donkey showed up. Which means it would have had to have been around this time. No? It would have to be that. Pig must have already been hit with the ashtray by the time Donkey left the room, sometime before 12:42. It were the end of Donkey's cigarette. So when he were smoking it, the ashtray must have had the blood and fingerprints wiped off it already. By heck, that very ashtray had been used as a murder weapon before Donkey plonked his ash in it. And that puts Hen in the clear because she weren't anywhere near the room before 12:42. Looks like Diane were right then. Hen stole money from Pig's wallet, but that's all. Still proving Hen didn't do it. Has proved someone else did. There's no one else it could have been now. I've ruled out the housekeeper. This time I've nailed it. I'm sure I'm getting out of this room one way or another. Yeah, but are you sure it's Donkey though? Because right now we've kind of narrowed it down to Dog and Donkey. Suppose to press that button on a table to call Diane once I've solved it, aren't I? Alright. So then let's press the button again. She's gonna say Donkey, which is probably gonna be wrong. So you think you know who the killer is, do you? I'm bang on this time. Alright then, let's have some fun. First question. Who killed Pig? Oh. I get to choose. So... So what about Dog has scheduled a meeting with Pig to talk business. He owed the victim a considerable sum of money. I'm gonna say Dog did it. It were that dodgy dealer Dog that killed Pig. Me? Any more spurious accusations and I warn you, it won't just end with a snarl. You can't scare me like that. I've always been good with dogs. You're the killer and I can prove it. You're barking up the wrong tree. What exactly do you think I had? When do you think I had the opportunity? This would be it. I already made a statement about this. I only went back into the room for a second. There's no way I could have killed Pig in such a short amount of time. Maybe not, but... And that's not all. Up until that point, Donkey had been with me in the room the entire time, and Pig wasn't even there. How could I have killed Pig without him being there? Well, I'm not going to stand around and watch you chase your tail. If you've got nothing else, you're done here. Whoever killed Pig, it wasn't me. End of story. No, wait a minute. Stay. I got some more. Got something wrong somewhere. That's all. All right, we're gonna do that again, and I still think it's the dog. I really think so. I just have to look at the time better. I still think it's dog. And there's a good reason why I think that. And I think it's this time. You can't color me like that. Pig wasn't even in the room. Only Donkey was there. How could I possibly kill Pig if he wasn't there? You couldn't. But then, you hadn't told me the whole truth, have you? Oh, very well. For the sake of argument, let's assume Pig was there. Are you seriously suggesting I put a chain around his neck and throttled him right there in front of Donkey? So that's how you did it, eh? I'm not saying that's what actually happened. What I mean is, no one would willingly commit murder in front of you, of a witness. No, I'll give you that. Good. Well, if you accept that, then there's nothing really more to say. Whoever killed Pig, it wasn't me. End of story. So I got the time wrong. Still. So it'd been the first time that he went there. And because that would have been before Donkey had showed up. Because it would have had to have been Dog. So it would have been that time. At 12:16 precisely, you paid another visit to Pig alone. Isn't that right? How do you know that? Who's the snout? There's a security camera on in the corridor that records everyone going in and out of that room. That hog always was too nosy for his own good. Is that why you killed him? Is it? Because that would add motive to the obvious opportunity you had? This is turning into a Shaggy Dog story. I did not kill Pig. Like I told you, he wasn't there. I don't think so. Pig was caught on camera just a few moments earlier, poking his snout round the door. He didn't leave the room after that. Are you saying he just disappeared? Let's get this straight. There's no snap of Pig leaving the room, right? Nope. And there's no snap of Pig's body being taken out of the room, right? Of course not. Strange. Okay, for the sake of argument, let's say I did kill Pig. If that was the case, his body would have been in the room. And it would have still been there when Donkey turned up. He would have raised the alarm there and then. And that's not what happened. Because there wasn't a body. Because I didn't kill Pig. If you say differently, then tell me where the body went. Well, he hid it, obviously. I hit him? What, buried him so I couldn't dig him up again later? A bit far-fetched, isn't it? Maybe, but that's not what you did. We are talking about the same room here, are we? Because I don't remember spotting anywhere where you could hide a whole pig. Oh, but there is somewhere, isn't there? Somewhere dead cunning where you concealed your victim's body at work. Ha ha ha! Are you barking mad? You think you could hide a pig in a place like that? No, we're only joking. You hung Pig up on the hat stand. You put him on a hook like it were a butcher's. The hat stand? How on earth could something as spindly as that conceal anything? Let me give you a pointer. There's a statement that explains that little mystery very nicely. My husband was in perfect health. Switched off. Nope. I was the one who found the body. Yes, but I certainly didn't kill him. After all, if I'd done that, I wouldn't get a settlement from the insurers, would I? The master and his wife were always arguing. I bet she went hardly his guns. I did go into the room to clear away some things. The tea and I found the master dead. Didn't kill him, I swear. You got a cheek getting me to come here, then not showing up. I could kill him. Oh, but he's already dead. Leaving something behind? Yeah. My bag. I went back to fetch it. Only took me a sec, though. Donkey was outside the door the whole time. No time to kill a pig. I never killed him. He wasn't even there. I went into his room, but he was nowhere to be seen. You can ask Dog. He turned up not long after me. I left with his dog to find Pig with Dog. His coat was still hanging up in the room, so we knew he must be in the mansion somewhere. Didn't expect to find him dead. Aye, Donkey said Pig's coat were hanging up into the room. So what? So, that's where you hid his body, inside his own coat. After you killed him, you put the coat around his body and hung him up on the hat stand. You turned it around so his back were pointing at the sofa. So it just looked like his coat hanging up. Well, I don't know what Donkey's been yapping about, but I never saw a coat in the room. There's evidence to support his statement. One of the hangers is bent. You see, as if it had something rather heavy hung from it. Something like a dead pig. Come on, why don't you just admit it, eh? You're the killer. You can't prove that. When I went into the room that second time, Donkey was already in there. So Donkey could have killed him, couldn't he? No. It still has to be you. Why? Because there's something vital you had the opportunity to do that Donkey didn't have. Only you could have. Hide the murder weapon. What? You really lost the plot now! That one right. Oh. That's not right either. Okay. It's true that Donkey could have killed Pig and hidden the body in his coat eye, but the only one who had a chance to retrieve it and move it into the onto the sofa were you. After you and Donkey left the room together, you went back to fetch someone on your own. It weren't that long that you could have killed him then. But it were enough time to fetch him down off the hanger and dump him onto a sofa. But you thought you could give yourself a cast iron alibi by delaying the discovery of the body. But you can't pull the wool over my eyes. Just admit it. It can't have been anyone else. Grr, fine, you got me. This is not over. Not by a long shot. You said you'd let me out now, didn't you? Congratulations, Lucy. A splendid performance. Whatever. Just let me out now. But first, I have a present for you. Eh? Two, actually. A puzzle piece and a Keelan make piece. Isn't that dialogue switched? Okay. Wasn't Diane the one that was giving me a present? But now Lucy's the one saying it? Give over! The dog's actually your dad? Keelan Makepeace, the jigsaw puzzle killer? Correct. The case you just solved was one of the jigsaw puzzle killings. It's a very special one. Papa always chose victims he didn't know. But in this case, he bent the rules. However fascinating you might find it, we're still talking about innocent people's lives being taken here. Poor Papa owed that fat pig so much money. Suddenly he flipped and decided to kill him instead of paying him back. But don't you think it's strange? What? You solved the case. In other words, you would have caught my father. Huh? I caught the jigsaw puzzle killer, eh? Not bad going, even if I say so myself. Yet at the time, they didn't manage to catch Papa. And they didn't manage to catch him after that either. He kept on killing. Well, obviously, whoever were assigned the case back then didn't know what they were doing. I tell you, if me and the prof had been given this case when it came up, we'd have made short work of it. Really? I wonder. Oh, I solved it now with no complaints, didn't I? That's not what I meant. Here, look at this. Oh, this is the actual case report, eh? Let's have a look then. The actual case from the murder committed by Makepeace 4 years earlier, created with a great attention to detail by DCI Elfendi Layton. The prof investigated it? Yes, but look more closely. Notice any evidence that's missing? You're right. The security camera pics of Dog coming and going when he killed Pig aren't in there. Well, no wonder then. Without them, you can't possibly figure out who did it. I remember something my poor drunk father said to me at the time. I can get away with anything, he said, because I've got friends in the force. What are you trying to say? Isn't it obvious? Do not trust Alfendi Layton. That man is... He killed Papa. Hey, wait! A passageway? That's a bit unexpected. The prof must be just up ahead. Don't let me down, Prof. You haven't done something you shouldn't have you? A 5-star case? We went from a 3-star... Whoa, hold on. We went from a 3-star to directly a 5-star. Well, how bad can this be? Thank goodness I managed to get out of that one. Now, where does this corridor lead, I wonder? I got to find Hilda and the prof. Prof. You didn't really destroy evidence, did you? But if this paperwork Diane gave me is genuine, it's hard to see it any other. Oh, come on, Lucy lass. Stop mithering about it and get on with the job at hand. I'm not going back to that room for naught. So it's onwards and upwards. I need to find Hilda as soon as possible. Okay. Oh, that's smart. Don't worry, it'll be over soon. Before long, anyone knows you're crying. What are you talking about? Talking about shame and suffering. Who is this girl? Who will die a desecrated man, trusted by no one? Enough. Shut your trap. It's time. Oh, my head. It's killing me. Goodbye. Good cop, bad cop. What part of the castle is this? Looks like some sort of tower or something, but... Ah! That were a gunshot! It came from upstairs! Prof! Lucy, is that you? What's happened to you? Diane tied me up here. Could you untie me? Prof? Yes? What's that in your hands? I can't see, obviously, so I'm unable to say for sure. But I believe it's a pistol. And who's that on the floor? Diane, is she dead? Do not trust Alfendi Layton. That man is... He killed Papa. What's going on, Prof? Please just untie me first, Lucy. Then I'll explain everything. Stay away from him! Hilda! Put down the gun, Al, at once. Hilda, you're here too. What's the matter? Why are you barking at me? Lucy, please, could you at least remove this blindfold? Prof, I want to help you, but you dropped the gun first. That's fine. I'm going to let it go on 3. 1, 2, 3. Alright, now before we go any further, we need to conduct an investigation of the scene. Goodness. The heavens have really opened, haven't they? I feel like it's been a long while since my eyes have seen the light. I don't care how long it's been. Start talking. What happened here? Aren't you going to untie me? Just tell us what happened first, please, Prof. Very well. Where should I start? Why did you come here alone? Why didn't you request backup? Because Diane's note said that I should come alone. And that, if I didn't, she would detonate a bomb at a hospital or a school or Lucy's home. Alright, and then what? Obviously, I came here alone and tried to find Diane. I eventually tracked her down in this room, but you allowed yourself to be caught, didn't you? She showed me that she had Lucy shut in that room. There was nothing I could do. She had the upper hand. Oh, I see. Yes, I watched you solve the case, Lucy. And a fine work of deduction it was, too. I'm impressed. Thanks, Prof. Don't change the subject, Al. What happened after that? After Lucy managed to work her way out of the room she was in, Diane became very volatile. She said she planned to kill me in front of Lucy. Give over! She blindfolded me and she pressed something cold and hard up against my forehead. I heard her cock the hammer of the gun. Then there was a gunshot. I heard that. That's why I came running. I really thought I'd been shot. It turned out I hadn't been. Then something heavy landed in my lap. Just as I was wondering what on earth was going on, Lucy came in. So, you really didn't do it then, Prof? Of course not. You're lying. Lucy, don't be deceived. Now be fair, Hilda. I've already searched this tower from the ground up, and there's nobody here but us 3. Al is the only possible culprit of this crime. Surely the killer could have gotten away somehow, no? No. There are doors into the tower on the first 3 levels, but only the ground floor can be opened. The only way to get to this room is to come in at the ground floor and climb the stairs. What about the floors above us? The stairs going up from this room leading into the rooftop, that's all. There's an external staircase leading up to the roof, but it's long since been completely impassable. Nothing's changed in that respect since 4 years ago, so you should know that as well as anyone, Al. Lucy, where were you when you heard the gunshots? I was at the bottom of this tower. Then there's no other explanation. I was outside the castle at the time, but I headed straight for this tower when I heard the shot. So you were on the ground floor. Lucy, I was outside the castle, and Al was alone with Diane in here. And now, we are the only 3 people in the tower, living people at least. So I ask you, Lucy, who killed Diane? Can there really be any doubt? I know how hard it can be to accept the truth, Lucy, but truth it is, you cannot change it. Now answer the question again. Yeah, but why should I believe that you were right where you are, Hilda? What makes me want to believe that you were right where you said you were? How can I prove that? Diane's killer must have been the prof. That's right. Since you were on the ground floor when the shooting occurred, the culprit must still be in the tower. And so, Alfendi Layton, I'm arresting you on suspicion of murder. Anything you... Ha ha ha. Oh, this takes me back. I potty prof! Oh, and you, Hilda? Oops. Doesn't it take you back to the day 4 long years ago now? If you're talking about the time you shot Keelan Makepeace, then yes. Sadly, Al, it does. You murdered someone then, and you've murdered someone now. Not true. In fact, this little incident has proven it. The person who killed Keelan and the person who killed his daughter are one and the same. And that person has conspired to make me look guilty. Do you really think I'm going to be taken in by such a feeble rebuttal? Untie me. Then I'll explain everything. You'll have plenty of time to explain things when we're back at the station. Lucy, can't you shut this mare up? Come on, get these ropes off me. Steady on, Prof. Do as the man says, untie him. Justin, not a moment too soon. I'm sorry it's taken me so long. Where's the backup? Still on its way. It was harder to organize than I'd expect, so I left the commissioner to sort it out and came on ahead. But never mind the backup for now. Let's hear what Al has to say. Don't be ridiculous. He's killed again, you realize? Not according to the man himself, though, I presume. There's no other explanation. I don't trust him. Don't worry. I'll soon put a stop to any shenanigans. My slugs never miss. Everyone knows that. You wouldn't shoot him, surely? Very well. As long as you're prepared, Justin. Well, Justin. Turns out you can be useful sometime after all. Don't get me wrong, Al. I don't trust you anymore either. Not completely, at least. I couldn't care less whether you trust me or not. All I care about is the truth. The truth about all that's going on here at Forebodium Castle. Fine. I'm going to untie him then. Stay alert, everyone. So, how do you intend to prove your innocence, Al? As I just said, Keelan's killer and Diane's killer are one and the same. So first of all, let's cast our minds back to the events of 4 years ago in this very castle. When Keelan were killed, you mean? When you shot him? Forebodium Castle, as you will all have observed, there are 3 towers at its entrance. The tower we're in here is the West Tower. And the other 2 are the Central Tower and the East Tower. It was here, on the roof of the West Tower, that Makepeace and I were shot. Don't use wordplay to imply your innocence. You were the shooter, Al. So, what were the events leading up to the shooting? Let's hear statements from the suspects themselves, shall we? Suspects? Are you seriously suggesting that? Of course, your suspects. You, Justin Lawson, and you, Hilda Pertinax. I beg your pardon. Justin and Hilda suspects? Is it really such a leap? On the day in question, obviously the victim Keelan Makepeace and I were present at the scene. The only others present were Justin, Hilda, and good old Commissioner Barton. Don't be absurd, Al. Do you have any idea what we all went through to try to help you that day? Save your breath, Hilda. There's no talking to this deranged fool. Very good, Justin. Just occasionally, you have a useful insight. Why don't we start with you? Tell us what happened that day. Well, it was 4 years ago to start with. We heard they'd tracked down the suspected serial killer responsible for the jigsaw puzzle killings. To here were it? To Forebodium Castle, you mean? That's right. Hilda, myself, and the Commissioner were getting ready for a raid. But then we heard Al was already on his way there, acting completely on his own authority, I might add. So we had to forego the rest of our preparations and head after him. It was raining like Noah's flood that day, and inside the castle it was pitch black. It made searching the place all but impossible. While we were fumbling about in the dark, we heard the first shot. Until then, we'd been working our way around together. But after the shot, we decided to split up in order to locate Al as quickly as possible. It wasn't too long before Justin found them. Yes, I was on the roof of the East Tower. I spotted Al and Makepeace on the roof of the West Tower. To be honest, I couldn't believe my eyes. Why? What were going on? Al had Makepeace totally cornered. He was slowly closing in on him, and Makepeace was clearly injured. What? The Prof was closing in on Makepeace? Not the other way around? Yes, and he was grinning in that way he does when he knows he's won, gun trained squarely on his quarry. Makepeace was trying to fight back. He was waving his own gun at Al, but his side was clearly too painful. How come? The gunshot we'd all heard before. Makepeace took the first slug to the gut. I shouted out as loudly as I could. Don't shoot, Al! Stand down! I bellowed. It was Justin's shouting that alerted the Commissioner and myself to Al's whereabouts. I just reached the top of the central tower, and the Commissioner was in the castle grounds. The Commissioner couldn't have seen what was happening from where he was, but I saw everything from up where I was. I saw Al driving Makepeace into the corner while he was grasping his right side in pure agony. 2 witnesses. It doesn't look good. What have you got to say in your defense, Al? To say? Nothing. I don't even remember it. No? A very convenient case of memory loss, if you ask me. What happened after that, then? I let the Commissioner know where Al and Makepeace were. Then we all made for the West Tower. The Commissioner reached the floor below the roof before Justin or I did. But the stairway door was barred shut, and it was impossible to get to the rooftop. While the Commissioner was trying to break the door down, we heard 2 more shots in rapid succession. So that were when... Yes, that's when Al and Makepeace shot each other. And where were you two at the point in time? I was coming down the external staircase from the East Tower when I heard the shots. And I'd made it as far as the bottom of the West Tower. The Commissioner was still breaking down the door when I reached him. So you arrived on the scene at the rooftop together before Justin? That's right. Like I said, he was still breaking down the door when I reached the 3rd floor. Eventually he hacked through it, and we climbed the final set of stairs to the roof together. We found both Al and Makepeace down in vast pools of blood. Neither of them were conscious. I arrived at the rooftop just a few moments after that. They were both lying there, not moving a muscle. I'd gladly erase that scene from my memory, I can tell you. You see. So, now we need to go to the rooftop. Lucy, follow me. Wait a minute, Prof. Hey, you can't just wander around. What's the plan, Prof? What are we doing up here? Conducting an investigation, of course. What else? But all this happened 4 years ago. True, but I have the original case file. Hey, that's mine! What are you doing with files that don't belong to you, Al? I just had a feeling it may come in handy, so I decided to borrow it. When did you? You should be pleased. After all, I'm going to lead you to the truth of this case. You, the truth? Those two things are incompatible. The details of all the evidence found at the time are in this file. So, let's begin. Start with the bodies of Keelan and Diane. Then you can examine my half-dead self. Okay, we're going to start with Keelan's corpse. According to the report, Keelan was shot on the roof of the West Tower. Correct, which is why we need to be there now, too. What's the point? Being at the scene isn't going to teach us anything that isn't already in the file. Ha. That attitude is precisely the reason why the case remains unsolved, 4 years after the event. I wish the normal prof could hear what you say that. What? No, forget it. On with the investigation. Alright. He was shot twice, once in his side and once in the head. The first shot hit him in the side, then he took a bullet to the head when he and Al shot each other. And there's no question that the bullets were fired from Al's gun. Forensics confirmed it all. I saw them waving their guns at each other moments before I heard the shots as well. It's all too clear. I'm afraid so. The moment I witnessed that scene, any trust I had left in Al went up in smoke. Oh, the melodrama. What did you say? Nothing, my dear. I was simply remembering what an over-emotional, cantankerous, opinionated woman you can be. Says the sarcastic, snide, conceited monster of cynicism. Oh yes, it's all coming back now. Bayek, Justin, were these two always like this? Oh, the old days. This was just a taster, Lucy. These two could argue for England. I had no idea the prof had it in him. Let's leave them to it and see if we can identify the weapon used to kill Makepeace, shall we? Aye, might be best. Okay. Zoom out. West Tower. No. This is the gun that were used to shoot Makepeace, the prof's gun. Indeed it is. Al's fingerprints were all over it. Hardly a difficult thing to engineer. Any idiot can manage that. And there are 2 empty cartridges on the floor nearby too. Yes, there's absolutely no doubt that this is the spot from where Al shot Makepeace. 2 empty cartridges? Aye, from the shot that hit Makepeace in the side and the subsequent shot to his head, eh? No! Sorry? How could I have missed such an obvious mistake all this time? What are you talking about, Al? You've done all this investigating and you still haven't noticed? You're even more dim-witted than I dared think possible. You want me to blow a hole in your head so we can see what's between your ears, sunshine? Steady on, Justin. Listen carefully now. There's a gaping inconsistency between one of your statements and the corpse. Let's see if you can redeem yourself by identifying the erroneous statement. Statement doesn't tie up with Keelan's Makepeace body. Diane Makepeace blindfolded me. That has nothing to do with it. That I heard Justin shouts when I was up at the top of Central Tower. I ran to the window and saw Makepeace and Al with their guns trained on each other. When I saw him on the West Tower roof, Makepeace was clasping his right hand, clasping his right side as he wielded his gun. It must have been where the first bullet hit. The commissioner was the first to reach the top floor of the West Tower, just below the roof. The final stairway door was shut fast, so he couldn't get up there. I was on the ground floor of the West Tower when I heard the second and third shots. The commissioner was still stuck on the second floor. It was after I'd reached him that the commissioner finally managed to break down the door to the roof. We decided to stick together at first, the commissioner, Hilda, and myself. I reached the rooftop of the East Tower and spotted Al and Makepeace on top of the West Tower in the throes of a shooting match. Makepeace was clasping his side. Maybe that's where Al hit him with the first shot. Anyway, I shouted out, "Don't shoot," at the top of my voice. The commissioner was in the castle grounds when I located Al and Makepeace. I shouted down to him to climb the West Tower at once. I was on my way down the staircase on the outside of the East Tower when I heard the second and third gunshots. So killing Makepeace was on his back, and it should have been on his right side he was clutching when he was shot. So he was clutching with his left hand. The gun was in his right hand. By the way, he fell backwards. Are you just guessing? Pathetic. Oh, weren't that the right one? The statement in question has a mistake so glaringly obvious. It's an embarrassment to have to tell you. Well, I don't want you to. I'll figure it out on my own. So very much. On with it. The erroneous statement is... was found. Are you telling me? Oh. Okay. That's the wrong one. Hilda said in this statement that Makepeace were clutching his right side, but that can't be. Are you just guessing? Oh, weren't that the right one? No, you're spot on. What do you mean that can't be? What's wrong with my statement? Well, think back to what the report said about Makepeace's body. He weren't shot in the right side, he was shot in the left. Book and eye test. Alright. Rubbish. I know what I saw. He had his gun in his right hand, and he was clasping the right side of his midriff with his left hand. I could see everything quite clearly from where I was on the top floor of the central tower. Whatever you say, the fact remains only Makepeace's left side showed signs of injury. But that just can't be. The original investigation must have been flawed in some... Why did you lie? I didn't lie! I don't believe you. I really don't know what to think, to be honest. But does it really matter if the man was shot in his left side or his right? Of course it matters. Why? That will come to light in the course of our ongoing investigation. You're very sure of yourself, Prof. You don't even know how it matters, but you're sure it will. Al, you haven't learned a single thing in the 4 years since this happened, have you? Poor Diane, I can't believe it. Her death seems to have upset you very deeply, Lucy. But isn't this the woman who very nearly killed you? Well, aye, that's true, but having had a bit of chat with her, I could see she were just a normal lass underneath. Oh, bravo, Detective Constable Baker. You never fail to see the best in people. Perhaps you'll explain Diane's virtues to the family of the murdered agent who became the unfortunate pig. No, I weren't trying to excuse... Never mind. I think it's fair to say that Diane was a rotten apple, but whoever killed her is no better. And that's the case we're trying to solve now. Quite so. Let's investigate Diane's corpse and the weapon used to murder her. Then hopefully we'll learn something about the true killer's identity. Death was induced by a bullet to the temple and is likely to have been near instantaneous. A single shot to the temple. She probably didn't even have time to realize she'd been shot. No, there's no sign of a struggle. Very interesting, wouldn't you say? This gun's still fully loaded. Not a single shot has been fired from it. Aye, and from where it's lying on the floor, it looks like that were Diane's gun, eh? The Prophet tied up good and tight with this rope. Yes, there's no way he could have got himself free from that. So he couldn't have shot Diane? I wouldn't go that far. He could have managed some movement of his wrists and hands. Probably enough to shoot the girl. Aye, you can't really deny that. The real question is, how did he get hold of the gun? Here's the problem I find. He was blindfolded. How was he able to accurately shoot her in the temple? A single shot's been fired, and the barrel's still warm. In other words, they were fired recently. No question. Well, have you deduced anything from this pointless exercise? Oh, I think so. Oh? What's that then? The location of the shooter who killed Diane. Can you figure out where the shot was from? No. Can't you even figure something as simple as this out? Use your eyes. Look at the body. Okay. Okay. So then probably hear that. Well, judging from how she's falling, I'd say the killer must have been on the stairs leading up the roof when he or she shot her. Exactly. Could hardly be more obvious when you look at the body. Surely the great mind of Hilda Pertinax can figure out what that means. Clearly you want me to say that you could therefore not have been the one to shoot the victim. Yes, I do. There's absolutely no way she could have fallen as she did if shot from where I was bound to my chair. So it weren't you who did it, Prof? Of course not. That's not all. Oh, what else is there? Someone as devious as Diane wouldn't make herself an easy target. We can be fairly sure she had no idea she was under threat. In other words, Diane didn't think there was anybody on the stairs leading up to the roof. Hardly earth-shattering news, Al. But then, how did the killer get onto the stairs? Isn't that rather intriguing? Not really. Clearly the culprit had climbed up the tower sometime when Diane wasn't around. Impossible. Diane didn't set a foot outside this room from the moment she captured me until her death. And there's no way anyone else could have reached the castle before I did. That only leaves us 4, Al. Watch what you're implying. As I already said, today's events are intimately tied to what happened here 4 years ago. The suspects are the same. What exactly are you trying to say, Al? How do you suggest the culprit managed to get up onto the roof? Oh, it's really very simple. The killer got to the roof without passing through this room at all. That's not an answer. That's nonsense. Agreed. Just what I'd expect a pair of closed-minded, unimaginative troglodytes to say. I beg your pardon. Do you have any idea how much trouble you're in, Al? You're up to your eyeballs, my friend. Oh, I'm well aware of my predicament. But the truth is, the killer knows of a secret way to the roof that not even I am aware of. A way that bypasses this room. That eliminates the need to open the door on the stairway here. According to the report, the prof was shot down on the roof of the West Tower. I was. Someone shot me. Very nearly lethally. Someone? You mean Makepeace, surely? I'm really not interested in discussing this with someone so ruled by prejudice and preconception. I beg your pardon. Here we go again. Come on, Lucy. Let's get this investigation buttoned up. Hi, quick smart. Gun believed to have been used by Makepeace. How he came by it is unknown, but doesn't really say how. Okay. So this is a spot, eh? Where the prof were nearly fatally wounded 4 years ago. The bullet they pulled from Al's body was fired from Makepeace's gun. There can be no doubt about that. In other words, he was shot by Keelan Makepeace, as we've known all along. Surely you can't take issue with that. Strange. Sorry? Justin, you say you saw me pointing my gun at Makepeace, correct? Correct. I saw it all too clearly. And where was I standing at that point? Are you taking this seriously? Oh, sorry, Prof. Minor mistake, soon fixed. According to the file, the prof were standing around about here when he were closing in on Makepeace. That it is, yes. That's the very spot. Hilda, do you agree? Is this where you saw me too? Yes, that's where you were. Why, what of it? I see. Oi! What's with that annoying grin of yours? Grin? No, this is very sad. Unfortunately, someone among us has given a false statement. One of you is a liar. Oh, be serious, Al. I always am, Hilda. No, consider where I'm supposed to have been standing, and it's obvious. The false statement is... where I saw him on the West Tower roof. Makepeace was clasping his right side. He wielded his gun. It must have been where he Commissioner was first to reach the top. Yes, but the final stairway door was shut fast, so he couldn't get up there. I was on the ground floor when West. That's right, I reached him. We decided to stick together at first, Commissioner Hilda and myself. I reached the rooftop of the east tower and spotted Al, and make peace on the top of the west tower. Tossed me aside. Maybe that's where Al shot, and I shut it down. The Commissioner was in the castle grounds when I located Al Makepeace. On my way down. Figured. Are you just guessing? Pathetic. Alright, hold on. I gotta try to find out what statement pinpoints where Alfendi and Keelan were standing. It's not cut and dry because he doesn't specifically say the locations that were seemingly present. So, weren't that the right one? Statement in question is so obviously a fabrication. It's an embarrassment to have to tell you. Yeah, I read these. Alright, let me check the files. Okay. Okay, let me take a look. Location on the west tower rooftop where Al was standing when he was spotted by Justin Lawson. Location west tower rooftops where Keelan was when he was spotted by Justin Lawson. Okay. We decided to stick together at first, the Commissioner. I reached the rooftop of the east tower and spotted Al and Makepeace on top of the west tower in the throes of a shooting match. Okay. Makepeace was clasping his side, maybe that where Al hit him with the first shot. Anyway, I shouted out, "Don't..." Is that it? No. Those statements are on. The Commissioner was on the castle grounds when I located Ellen. No? So, are you telling me that none of Justin Lawson's statements were wrong? Okay, hold on. Heard Justin shouts when I was at the tower, ran to the window, saw Makepeace and Al with their guns trained on each other. Where I saw him on the west tower roof, Makepeace was classmate's right side. Must have been where was first to reach the top. There. Okay. I'm running out of statements here, you know. Hilda said in this statement that she saw the prof from the top floor of the central tower, but that can't be. Are you guessing? Weren't that the right one? No, you're spot on. Stop these foolish games. Tell me what's wrong with my statement. Come on, out with it. Al had his gun trained very carefully on Makepeace. I saw it quite clearly. I don't think so, Hilda. You can't see down to where you say the prof were from the top of the central tower. Excuse me? It's a slit window up there. All you could have seen is the southern side of the west tower where Makepeace was. I was on the northern side of the tower. You wouldn't have been able to see me at all. No, that can't. Why did you lie? I did not lie. I mean, I didn't exactly lie, but what? I may have rather seriously mistaken, perhaps. What? What are you trying to say, Hilda? I need to amend my statement. I definitely saw Makepeace with his gun at the ready, but I didn't actually see Al. Well. Truth is the best policy, after all. Don't be fastidious or factious or whatever. What the hell is that word? We're talking about the events of 4 years ago. Mistakes are bound to be made. What a comeback. I wish I could think of things to say like that when I'm up a gum tree. So I was the only one who actually saw Al, was I? It seems so. What of it? Yes, what of it? You're going to have to be less obtuse, Al. I don't follow. You will, all in good time. Isn't it amazing what a little bit of investigating can turn up? Don't you think, Hilda? Are you alright, Hilda? Let's go over what we've learned in order. First of all, we've established that Diane was shot in the temple. From the angle of penetration, we can deduce that the shooter was on the stairs that lead to the roof. And that in itself tells us something more. The killer almost certainly didn't use stairs, but knew another way to the roof of the West Tower. I still can't see how there can be another way up the roof. Furthermore, we've uncovered some disturbing facts about the murder of Keelan Makepeace 4 years ago. The statement of investigating officer Hilda Pertinax have been shown to be extremely questionable. There's no need to rub salt in the wound, Al. Firstly, she claimed 4 years ago to have seen me wielding a gun threatening at Keelan Makepeace. That, however, was an out-and-out lie. I wasn't lying. I made an honest mistake, that's all. In actual fact, all she saw was Makepeace wielding a gun. She didn't see me at all. But that's not the end of the witness' dubious statements. She also claimed to have seen Makepeace holding his right side while he wielded his firearm. However, Examination of the victim's body showed no wound on the right side, only on the left. I'm quite certain of what I saw. I assure you I'm telling the truth. He was clasping his right side. I remember it clearly. The aforementioned points lead us to two further issues that require investigation. How did the killer get to the roof of the West Tower? And what does the inconsistency between Hilda's statement and the post-mortem report tells us? Objections? You have none? Good. Then let's investigate. The murders of Diane Makepeace and her father 4 years earlier, and the attempted murder of myself. One mystery holds the key to all three incidents. The secret way to the top of the West Tower. The killer must have known a way to the rooftop without using the stairs inside the tower. I'm sorry, Al, but you have to let this go now. There's no such way. Hilda's right. The original investigation was very thorough. They didn't find anything like that. Thorough? Don't make me laugh. Lucy, let's show them what thorough looks like, shall we? Look for evidence that proves the killer reached the West Tower's roof without using the stairs. Let's see here. That's the roof. So let's take a look in this room here. See if we can figure out some stuff. Let's go to this one. Staircase that there's absolutely no possibility of using. It remains as it was 4 years earlier. To your point, Lucy. I thought perhaps this might have something to do with the secret way up to the roof. Of course it doesn't. Can't you see that? I just don't know what you're expecting me to find, Prof. There's not, honestly. Don't let him get to you, Lucy. I'm sorry to disappoint you and Al, but I really don't think there is another way to the roof. You're wasting your time. Why don't you turn your attention to something else for now? Okay. Find a secret way to the West Tower. Well, we're going to skip that for now, and we're going to do this one. Maybe this is going to unravel something for us. Hilda made a statement to the effect that Makepeace was clasping his right side, but examination of the body revealed a wound to the left side only. Aye, so you keep saying, but what does that tell us? There really aren't that many possibilities. Can you figure out which is likely to be closest to the truth? She lied. Makepeace wasn't shot. She made a mistake. The wound was on the right. She lied. I know what I saw, young lady, and I would never lie. Sorry, Hilda. Doesn't look like that idea is going to fly. Try again. Maybe Makepeace weren't shot at all, and it left her right side. Be serious, woman. Didn't you hear what we said? Makepeace was clasping his midriff in agony. Of course he'd been shot. You're exactly right, Lucy. What? Have you both lost your faculties? Makepeace wasn't clasping his midriff in apparent agony. That's how it looked to you, but only how it looked. You didn't actually see the wound. But it doesn't make sense. I know how the criminal mind works. It's like I'm inside their head. Makepeace hadn't been shot. He hadn't been shot at all. He was simply clasping his midriff to make it appear that he'd been shot. It was all an act. An act? What possible reason? I don't think so, Al. That doesn't add up. We heard a total of 3 shots that day, and there were 3 gunshot wounds as a result. Al's 1 and Makepeace's 2. That's true. If the first was fired into thin air as part of the act, we should have heard 4 shots in all. The first fake one, then the 3 that caused the wounds found on Al and Makepeace. Use your brains, you sloths. Come again? The answer is staring you in the face. The first shot that was part of the act is the key. It wasn't fired into thin air, as you so foolishly surmised, Justin. No, it found its intended target. And that target was... Of course. The first bullet that were fired hit you, Prof. Ha 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 ha. Glad to see you're managing to maintain your sense of humor. Precisely, Lucy. Hey! All this time I've been questioning it, wondering why I had no recollection of shooting Makepeace. You've really lost me now, Al. You're up in a cloud cuckoo land. But at last I found the answer. I'd taken a bullet myself, was lying there unconscious before Makepeace had ever been shot. Hold a minute. If that's really true, then that's right. We have to add another to the growing list of false statements we've seen today. The statement in question being, no, of course it's wrong. We're looking at hers. No. He says it's simple. Heard Justin shouts at the top. Range of the windows. Can see Al. We already deduced that one, so. So, it's not in your her statements then. So, then we have to go to Justin's statement. They used to inspire our shooting match. No? Okay. If the Prof had been taken down with the first gunshot, then he couldn't have been seen pointing his gun at Makepeace, which means, Justin Lawson, you've given a false statement. Me? Who else? Hold on a minute. I really don't follow your logic here. Let's just run through this again. As you wish. If what you're saying is true, the first gunshot was someone shooting you, Al, so you would have been out cold on the rooftops, across from you. Makepeace puts on a show as if it's actually him who's been shot. Exactly. Makepeace was clasping his right side in a performance to make it appear as if he'd been hit. That's it. That's the bit I don't get. What possible reason could Makepeace have had to put on a show like that? And what reason would I have to lie? Why would I shout out to you to tell you not to shoot if you weren't wielding your gun? I don't have any reason to lie. If you're going to drag me over the coals, at least have an argument that makes sense first. I have to agree with Justin. None of this makes the slightest bit of sense. It's beyond simple. Justin and Makepeace were working together from the start. We were in cahoots! And there's evidence to prove it, Lucy. No? I don't follow, I really don't. Well, I must have been wrong. I think you're referring to this report I got given when I solved the case of the battered pork. That's a blast from the past, that is. But what does it possibly have to do with all this? You explain, Lucy. Well, according to Diane, the prof may have destroyed vital evidence in the original case. Al, even you wouldn't sink so low, surely. And now you've decided it's time to come clean, have you? You really haven't got a clue, have you? Either of you. I wouldn't think twice about destroying evidence if it pleased me. Sorry to disappoint you, Hilda. But don't overlook the obvious. I wasn't the only one with the opportunity to do so in that case. Surely you're not saying... You're both there. You know who was involved. Everyone on the team investigating the Jigsaw puzzle killings had the chance. In other words, any of myself, Hilda, Justin, or the Commissioner could have destroyed the evidence. Give over! Diane offered another fascinating insight into her father's crimes. I remember something my poor drunk father said to me at the time. I can get away with anything, he said, because I've got friends in the force. Are you suggesting that someone in the Met knowingly allowed a serial killer to remain at large? More accurately, that person was controlling the flow of information to prevent Makepeace being caught. But why would anyone do that? Presumably, he wanted a lot of people dead. He was using Makepeace as a hired assassin as payment for preventing his apprehension. I get it now. And that corrupt policeman would be me, would it? I'm so glad you managed to keep up. 4 years ago, you decided it was time to wrap things up. So you killed Makepeace and framed me for your crimes. No. Justin wouldn't do something like that. Come on, Prof. Ha 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 ha. That's an impressive work of crime fiction, Al. Fiction? Obviously. As proof, you have Hilda's far from convincing witness statements and a dubious case file you obtained from the daughter of a serial killer, a criminal herself. It's not the most convincing case ever, Al. Aye, you've got a point there. And you've forgotten one very important thing. What's that? Where everyone was. When I found Makepeace, I was on the roof of the East Tower, not the West Tower where he was. At that point, Hilda was at the top of the Central Tower, and the Commissioner was outside the fort. It's inconceivable that I would have reached the top of the West Tower before the Commissioner. Well, isn't that the same mystery we came back to time and again? Oh yes, the secret way to the West Tower rooftop. But as that remains a mystery, nothing's actually changed, has it? You're still the prime suspect, Al, not me. Alright. So now, we need to figure out how to get to the top of the West Tower. And this is the West Tower. So where's the secret that leads to the West Tower? We're gonna find it. I know we will. Okay. So, that doesn't tell us anything. Literally, on this floor, you could leave the... and go to each one of these towers. Let's see, one door is inaccessible, which that blocks you from the West Tower. Okay, so this is... okay. That was, looks like the only place, because this is the West Tower. So there must be another way. Okay. This is definitely the West Tower here. But Hmm. I think the scaffolding on the side here tells us something at least. Okay. There's got to be a way to get there, though. Alright, this one I may have to look up. This is really stumping me. Because I've looked at everything else. I've looked at everything, and there doesn't really seem to be a possible answer to it. can't select on it if okay. What's your point, Lucy? I thought perhaps this might have something to do with this secret way up to the roof. Of course it doesn't. Can't you see that? Well, I just don't know what you're expecting me to find, Prof. There's not, honestly. Can we give this up now? Please. What do you mean? Give up what? The secret way up to the roof that Al keeps banging on about is fiction. How can you be so sure, Justin? I spent the last 4 years trying to prove it wasn't Al who shot Makepeace, but it can't be done. Can't be done by someone as untalented as you. Yes, I'm afraid that's true. I've come to the painful realization that I can't get my old friend off the hook. And now I'm tired. Really, really tired. I know how hard it's been on you, Justin. I should have accepted the truth straight away like you did. I should have accepted the truth straight away like you did, Hilda. I shouldn't have fought it. After Al admitted he'd done it, I should have let it lie. 4 years on, I wish I had. The Prof admitted it? No, that was not me. It was Al. It's still you, no matter how much you'd like to say it wasn't. No, not now. Prof, you're back to normal? Yeah, sorry, Lucy, I don't mean to worry you. Al, don't tell me you still haven't told. Prof? Did you really admit to it? Yes, Lucy, I did. I remember everything like it was yesterday. When I was invited to the docks, naturally, I told the court everything. But that's the total opposite of what you've been saying up till now, Prof. It's all in the past now. Forget this pointless investigation. Let's get back to the mystery room. What are you talking about, Prof? How can I make it any clearer? Lucy, what I'm about to say, you can consider as a full confession. This is no time for silly games, Prof. I'm quite serious. The person who shot Keelan Makepeace dead was me, Alfendi Layton. But I just can't believe that. I won't. I'm sorry, Lucy. I know it's hard. I can't believe the Prof really admitted to it. All this we've done today has been a complete waste of time, hasn't it? Are you alright, Lucy? Oh, Hilda. Looks like Diane were right all along, eh? Oh, about what? She warned me not to trust the Prof. Don't trust Alfendi Layton, she said. Did she? Aye. Well, seeing as we've got a confession, we might as well get back to the station, mightn't we? But that is exactly what Diane meant. Do not trust Alfendi Layton. He made a false confession. Just before we do, Lucy, there's something you really ought to know. Oh, what's that? I'm afraid you've been under a terrible misapprehension about Al's alternative persona. You see, the Al that was very nearly mortally wounded 4 years ago is, well, that's the Al who I believe you refer to as Potty Prof. The bad one. I don't understand. The Al you're used to, the quiet, considerate, even meek Al, is someone none of us had ever met before until the events of 4 years ago. What? Potty Prof's the real prof and the good prof's the evil twin? Very funny, Hilda. But to be honest, I'm not really in the mood for jokes right now. I'm quite serious, Lucy. And I'm sorry for not telling you sooner. But when I saw you chatting away happily to the other Al, I just didn't quite know how to bring it up. But I don't really know what to say to that. I know how you must be feeling. It's exactly how I felt 4 years ago. Really? Back then, I searched and searched for a way to show that it wasn't Al who'd shot Makepeace. But the investigation was a disaster. The evidence against Al just kept stacking up. And then, of course, when Al finally regained consciousness, it all became startlingly clear. My joy at seeing him awake again was shattered in an instant. The moment he came out of those words, it was all over. I shot Keelan Makepeace. And he's still claiming the same thing now? Well, the normal prof is, at least. Once I'd heard his confession, I knew it was all pointless. My Al was dead. This was someone else. Hilda? So I devoted myself to my profession instead of to a man. It was my way of distancing myself from this new Al, who was so foreign to me. I'm sorry. I hope I haven't embarrassed you. Anyway, I'll be getting back to the others now. Think about what I've told you, and take some time to consider what you should do. Don't forget that despite all this, you're still Detective Constable Lucy Baker. You have responsibilities. That's right. I'm a detective constable. The mystery room might be the back office of all back offices, but we still got stuff done. So I don't need any time to consider what I should do. There's not else for it. I've got to solve the final mystery of this case. The secret way to the West Tower rooftop. We must have overlooked something before. Else it wouldn't still be a mystery, would it? There must be some vital piece of evidence none of us have clocked. The prof might have said it himself, that he shot Keelan Makepeace, but I don't care. I don't believe a word of it. What we need is a new investigation to figure out how else someone could have gone onto West Tower roof. Now investigate the scene and look for evidence you might have overlooked before. Try examining objects even if they don't have a marker. If you spot anything that looks even slightly suspicious, make sure you examine it. Okay. It wants me to go to the 5th floor. I'm going to choose this. Yep. Has that ivy been torn off the wall by someone? Has it? Seems a bit unusual. Might be worth noting that. Perhaps some of the new evidence I just turned up could hold the key to the mystery of the West Tower. And there's plenty more to examine at the scene if not. Still, I reckon I should get back to the others and see what's what. Hilda should be there by now too. Not the mystery room, why? It's time to prove once and for all that the stairs really were the only way to the top of the tower. Time for my best snoop around yet. Need to figure out the secret way to the West Tower rooftop, and it'll all fall into place. Won't be long now, Prof. I'm going to solve this one. Hello, Hilda. Oh. There you are, Lucy. Have you come to a decision? I've never been more sure of myself. There's only one course of action that makes any sense, and that's to solve the final mystery of this case and put it to bed once and for all. Lucy, you must be realistic. These events occurred 4 years ago. That's a very long... Oh, do pipe down, Prof. Huh? No, Lucy. That's not like you. What's got into you? You can thank Hilda for that. Like I said, I'm going to solve the secret of the West Tower rooftops. I'm going to blow this case wide open and expose the mastermind behind it all. Well, tell us then, Lucy. Who was behind it all? Behind the serial killings in Forebodium Castle. Who is the mastermind? You know what? I'm going to say him, because he hasn't been questioned throughout this. The mastermind of all this is the Commissioner. Commissioner Barton? Not likely. I'm almost certain that the Commissioner spent the entire time trying to hack down that door. Given his diminutive stature, that would seem perfectly plausible. What could he possibly have done? Well, I suppose you're saying there was some sort of secret knack to the door that only he knew, are you? Exactly. Spit it out then, Detective Constable. What secret knack would that be? What evidence do you have to support your theory that the bolted door was not all it seemed? Right. I think whatsoever. Lucy, you don't need to try to protect me. You're making things up now, Baker. That's a slippery slope. I haven't got much support on this one. Let me have another think. So we're gonna start over. Hello, Hilda. Oh, there you are, Lucy. Have you come to a decision? I've never been more sure of myself. There's only one course of action that makes any sense, and that's to solve the final mystery of this case and put it to bed once and for all. Lucy, you must be realistic. These events occurred 4 years ago. That's a very long... Oh, do pipe down, Prof. Huh? No, Lucy, that's not like you. What's got into you? You can thank Hilda for that. Like I said, I'm going to solve the secret of the West Tower rooftop. I'm going to blow this case wide open and expose the mastermind behind it all. Well, tell us then, Lucy. Who was behind it all? Behind the serial killings in Forbodium Castle. Who is this mastermind? So, we're going to choose him. The mastermind of this is you, Justin Lawson. At least we all know where we stand now. But if you think I'm just going to admit to it, you're sadly mistaken. Well, I agree with Lucy. I'm afraid not. Lucy's wrong. After all, I've admitted to the crime myself. It looks like we need to have a bit of a reshuffle then, doesn't it? Yes. Things are going to get very interesting now. Lucy, I'm sorry, but I wasn't paying attention before. Can you explain again from the beginning why you believe Justin to be the culprit? Alright then, I will. For starters, there's Justin's involvement with Keelan Makepeace. It looks very likely that they conspired together to set up the Forbodium Castle case 4 years back. What? And that's not all. You figured out Makepeace were the jigsaw puzzle killer long before anyone else, didn't you, Justin? Then you threatened to arrest him unless he did what you told him. Is that true, Justin? Don't believe a word of it. It's conjecture, that's all. We'll see about that. Let me talk you through my version of events at Forbodium Castle 4 years ago. We'll pick it up from when Hilda, Justin, and the commissioner turned up looking for the prof. The three of you stuck together at first, when you heard a gunshot all of a sudden. Now, the person who fired that shot were... The first shot were fired by Keelan Makepeace. And who he hit with it were. There we go. That first shot that were fired by Makepeace hit the prof. Me? That's absurd, Lucy. I remember it all perfectly. I fired the first shot. That's not what the real Al says, I assure you. The real Al is adamant he doesn't recall shooting Makepeace. He says he blacked out after the first shot. What are you talking about, Hilda? I am the real Al. I'm Elfendi Layton. You're not the Elfendi Layton who I once knew. Lucy, set her straight, would you? That psychotic hothead who takes over my body isn't the real me, is he? Of course he isn't. I don't know, Prof. I really don't know what to think anymore about all that. But what I do know is that where I work, we don't give up on any case till we've got to the truth. So that's enough blathering about this and that. It's time you lot all listen to what I have got to say. You see, and there was me thinking you were just a wallflower. You've got bottle on the crust. Come on then, I'm all ears. Right then. After he shot the Prof, Makepeace took up position in a corner of the West Tower roof. He were clasping his side with one hand, gun in the other, exactly as arranged with Justin beforehand. Meanwhile, Justin suggested that Hilda took the central tower to see what was happening. That left you to take the East Tower, didn't it, Justin? Just where you wanted to be. You're quite right about that. Justin was leading the search and telling us where to go. In fact, I remember him saying that he'd been to the castle before, so he had a good idea of its layout. Did I? It's so long ago I really can't remember. Once everything were in place, that's when you shouted, "Over to the West Tower," Justin. "Don't shoot, Al! Stand down!" But the Prof weren't even aiming his gun at Makepeace, let alone about to shoot. He weren't even standing. Of course, all I could see through the slit window at the top of the central tower was Makepeace. But when I heard Justin shout out like that, I must have just assumed Al was there about the fire. Exactly. Makepeace's performance and Justin shouting out like he did threw you off. Together those two tricks made you believe that the Prof had Makepeace backed into a corner, defenseless. They had you fooled, Hilda, and the Commissioner as well. It was all set up to make you take the fall, Al. That's madness. It's just a fanciful theory, that's all. Pure supposition. Come on, Prof. If it weren't, how could I possibly remember shooting Makepeace myself? Come on, don't stop there. Let's hear the rest of this tabloid melodrama. Obviously, after I'd shouted out to Al, all eyes were on the top of the West Tower. Then what? The Commissioner rushed into the West Tower to get up to the roof. Well, the last door were barred shut. It were as he were trying to break that door down that you all heard the second and third shots. Yes, and that's surely the problem with your theory, Lucy. Those two last shots. Up until now, we've all believed that those two shots were Makepeace and Al shooting at each other. But if what you say is true, Lucy, and Al was already unconscious on the floor, that can't be. It can't be. In other words, someone else must have fired those two shots. Oh, really? Well, if it wasn't Al and Makepeace taking shots at each other, just who was responsible for the two successive shots fired on the West Tower rooftops? It were Justin who fired the shots, of course. With the Prof already unconscious, Justin had his gun off him and put a bullet in Makepeace's side, followed by a fatal one through his brain. That at least would explain how my gun was unidentified as the murder weapon. but sadly it's not possible. Well said, Al. I was on the roof of the East Tower just moments before those shots. To get over the other tower, I'd have had to climb all the way down the East Tower and then up the West. There's no way in the world I could have got there before Hilda or the Commissioner. In other words, the killer couldn't have been anyone other than me. The fact that I remember doing it is surely more compelling proof than anything else. It's undeniable. It certainly seems so. Justin simply couldn't have done it. Makepeace was shot by Al. We must accept it. But if there were somehow a way, if I could somehow prove this hideous event that's carved in memory to be an untrue. Don't worry, Prof. That memory won't be troubling you much longer. I'm about to blow it out the water. Hook. Line. And sinker. Ah ha ha! I haven't had this much fun in ages. Let's see what you've got, Baker. You say I killed Makepeace? Where's the proof? Oh, you killed him. You find your way from the East Tower roof to the West Towers, and you shot Makepeace dead. What proves it is... I can't believe I gotta go all the way through all this evidence. Ah, there it is. These broken creepers prove it. Creepers? Ah ha ha. Simplicity itself. Who would have thought it? Potty Prof! What are you trying to say? We're not in the right place here to answer that question. What happened to Potty Prof? And would you all accompany me to the West Tower rooftop? What exactly was the point of dragging us all of us all the way up here again? Oh, come now, Justin. Why the feeble pretense? You know exactly what the point is. Back to the potty? I can't keep up. Obviously, the ivy itself isn't important. What is important is... where it was growing. What's important is where the ivy were growing on its castle walls. Yes, the ivy that's been broken is on the outer wall of the central tower's topmost floor. Have a look. Hilda, can you see that small ledge along the window underneath where the broken ivy is? Yes, I can see it. What of it? Well, don't you think you could get a foothold on a ledge like that? You can't be serious. The rooftops of the West and East Towers are at most the same level as the top floor of the central tower. Aye, and there's not much distance between them either. A little jump and you'd be on the ledge. All you have to do is shuffle along the ledge towards the West Tower and jump off at the other end. You'd be on the roof of the West Tower in a jiffy. But you couldn't. I mean, put a single foot wrong and you'd plummet to your death. Aye, just the sort of antics you'd expect from a daredevil like Justin. Ah yes, Justin's all brawn. If anyone has the required mental capacity for such a trick, it's him. This is all very well compelling, but it's the first I've heard of this circus act way to move between the towers. Do you actually have any evidence to show that's what I did? Of course I do. You are the evidence, Justin. Your body is proof. What? How? Where on my body? I'll tell you where, Justin. All over, that's where. What? The ivy on your hands, the dust and lichen from the ledge and walls on your feet and jacket. Every part of your body that came in contact with the ivy and the wall will give your crime away. And it might not be visible with the naked eye, but I'd be willing to bet forensics will turn some of it up. I bet you were pleased with yourself when you thought you used the self-same trick to kill Diane as her father. But you've dug your own grave this time, Justin. So it's over at last, is it? That seemed a bit too easy. Eh, Justin? Just think, if you hadn't killed Diane, nobody would be any the wiser. It was a risk to use the same trick to kill that girl. A big risk. I was well aware of that. Then why did you do it? I couldn't take any more. Take what? The constant feeling that I might be found out at any moment. It's been 4 long years. And these last few months have been the worst. I thought that everyone who knew what happened was out of the picture. But then, when you showed up, Baker, for some reason the old Al started to resurface again. And to make matters worse, Makepeace's daughter made an appearance as well. I couldn't be sure what her father had told her. I needed to be assured of her silence. But whatever means necessary. So you see, fear got the better of me. That's why the Makepeace girl had to be killed. It all started to go wrong that fateful day 4 years ago. You weren't supposed to make it, Al. I should have finished you off. I should have made sure. Ha, don't flatter yourself. You couldn't shoot me. You know you couldn't. What? Let me spell it out for you. You knew I wasn't quite dead when Makepeace shot me that day, but you chose to turn a blind eye. Is that true? Diane's murder was the same. Left her to her own devices, she would almost certainly have shot me in the head. But you killed her first, Justin. You killed her to save me. Yes, technically, of course, you are a killer. But your victims are pure evil. So, we'll just leave it at that, shall we? All is forgiven? What I failed to understand, though, is why you got involved with that criminal and his affairs in the first place. Because, no, forget it. Let's just say some bad people were getting a bit too powerful. Give over, Justin. That's not going to wash. That's all I have to say on that matter. Now throw me in a cell before I change my mind. Would you like me to, Prof? No. No, it's alright. Thank you, Lucy. Justin Lawson, I'm arresting you for 2 counts of murder. Anything you say can and will be mystery solved. Alright. Case resulting in the reopening of the jigsaw puzzle cases from 4 years ago. The outcome was shocking. Of the 26 cases that had been ascribed to Keeling Makepeace, 11 of them turned out to be not to do with him. It were Justin who placed puzzle pieces at the scene of those 11 incidents, so they'd be lumped in with the jigsaw puzzle killings. It were the biggest scandal in the Mets' history, and the press had a field day with it, but not once did Justin explain his motives. That brings us to today. The prof managed to wrangle a meeting with Justin somehow. He's due back any minute now. Prof, how did it go with Justin? Trouble, terrible, awful, disastrous. Eh? If they ever let him out, I'll kill him with my bare hands. Whatever happened? Never mind, nothing's important. I asked him about my split personality come about. Oh, spill the beans. This I've got to hear. Just look at this book. Brainwashing? What are you doing with a dodgy looking book like that? After I was shot and fell into a coma, Justin sat on my backside reading this to me in an effort to shut me up. He never did. And the result was that pathetic other side of me being born. That's amazing. I can't believe it were such a success. A success? Granted, I was very nearly dead. My mental facilities were severely impeded. He had the perfect conditions to brainwash me. But with this cheap and nasty book? Doesn't look pretty naff, does it? I hate myself. Look at what I'm made of. Trashy schoolboy guide to mind games. No, it can't be. Stupid book. It couldn't unhinge me. I'm a great mind, a thinker. I do the times one. No, it can't be. You're right. Sounds like a new mystery to me, Prof. A new mystery. And if there's a mystery to solve, we can just leave it be. We can't just leave it be. What are you talking about, Lucy? We've got to investigate, Prof. To find the great secret behind Placid Prof. Don't mock me, Lucy. No one could hope to understand all the inner workings of the mind. Don't be so sure. Between the three of us, Potty Prof, Placid Prof, and me, there's naught we can't solve. But I have a mountain of paperwork stacking up. I really can't. All that can wait. Come on. It's a cracking day out there. Perfect weather for solving mysteries. Yes, that's what's happened. It's shaken all of us, but at least there's no need to worry about him anymore. Yes, well, there are still a number of unanswered questions. Quite. We could certainly use your investigative talents when the time comes. Be like old times, Herschel. Oh! Yeah, I finished it. Yeah, why? They dropped a Herschel Layton at the end of that one. No cliffhangers, because you have to watch the anime and read the manga to finish the rest of the story, which apparently did so well that in the Catriel, in Catriel's anime, Alfendi Layton and Lucy Baker make a cameo. So we're going to do Catriel next Saturday. I am starting from the beginning. We are going to struggle through it. And I'm going to need a lot of help. And I'm not changing this logo. It's still going to say Professor Layton because I will be playing the new Professor Layton game when it comes out. Tomorrow, I'm playing 2 games, but we're not going to break the stream because it's going to be Ori and the Blind Forest, and I will open it up by playing Nameless. And which means I'm going to have to download it to this PC. We're going to start off with Nameless. It's going to only take, it's not going to take very long. I think it's only an hour of gameplay. And then I'll finish the rest of it out with Ori and the Blind Forest. That's what's happening tomorrow. Tuesday, I think I'm going to be playing Alwa's Awakening. So we're going to be doing Alwa's Awakening on Tuesday. I don't know how long that's going to last, but that's going to take place during the break of Tears of the Kingdom. This is a way for me to try to bring in new viewers in here because things are starting to run a bit stale. So we want to change it up a little bit and try to make sure we are able to bring in new viewers and stuff like that. Catriel is going to be an interesting one if people sees that because that's still the more recent Professor Layton one. And a lot of people is going to have memories of that one. Probably not good memories because it's not really the best game. And yes, I will be using a walkthrough. But I don't know how many cases. It's kind of set up like this one. But there's a little bit of mix of Professor Layton into it, and I think that's where everything went downhill. I think they should have done another one of these games if they were going to do Catriel as an investigator. I think that would have made the game better and would have been in the similar line of a Layton Brothers mystery room. That way, Alfendi and Lucy Baker could make a cameo in the game. And it would have been smarter if they'd done that. But they wanted to bring another Professor Layton game into it. And the last game that they were rolling off from was this game. This is not Mystery Makers. I'm going to take a look at that and see what that is all about. Am I going to be making my own cases? Well, let's see. Oh, this is the credits. Okay. That's what the Mystery Makers is. This is just the credits. So, that's where we're going to end it for the night. So we are going to close this out. Okay. So let me see if there's anybody to raid. So I'm gonna raid Jack of Hearts on Twitch. He's not on YouTube, but I think for YouTube we're just gonna raid Twain. Alright, Nightbot, wake up. Here we are. Alright, let me set up my raid for Jack of Hearts. He's playing Pal World on Twitch. And with Twain, if you're on YouTube, give Twain a like and a subscribe. If you're on Twitch, give Jack of Hearts a follow. And we are out.